how you name ions and ionic compounds. So the first part of this that I have pulled up on this document is the first two questions on your naming ions and ionic compounds, practice number 1. So when we name a metal ion, we keep the name of the ion, and then we just add the word ion afterwards. So we keep the name of your metal, and we just add the word ion afterwards. For a non-metal, we're going to keep the root of the non-metal name and add the word "ide" at the end. So let's do this first one. Sodium is a metal. So to name it, it's going to become the sodium ion. Okay. Now, your ion symbol is going to be Na, and it's in group 1, so it has a +1 charge. Bromine is a non-metal, so we're going to keep the root of that, so we're going to keep the and we're going to add I to the end of it. So bromine becomes bromide, and that is Br, and that is located in group, I'm looking at a periodic table that doesn't have elements on it. And that's located in group 17, and it has a 1-. So now on this next part, I'm going to go through your notes that are found on your Unit 4 periodic table guided notes review assignment. And we're going to go through a few of these. So the first part we're going to go through is how we name an ionic compound. So the general form for an ionic compound when we name them is metal, non-metal, ide. So we don't worry about the numbers or anything when we name them. We're just going to name them based on their metal name and their non-metal, and then we're going to add the ide to the end. So sodium plus bromine becomes sodium bromide. Calcium plus fluorine becomes calcium fluoride. Oh, my typing has a weird delay. Fluoride. Potassium plus oxygen becomes potassium oxide. Ooh. Spelling is hard. There we go. All right, beryllium plus nitrogen becomes beryllium nitride. So again, writing the formula for an ionic compound, we're going to do metal, non-metal, ide. Metal, non-metal, ide. Oop. There's a weird delay on this Chromebook when I type. So it's giving me weird things. Metal, non-metal, ide. Is still spelled incorrectly. There we go. Okay, we're getting it. All right, so when we do the charges of ionic compounds, we're going to crisscross our charges, and we'll do that a second. We'll do that on this chart down here on number 50. So we're going to skip that, and we'll come back to that. But what we do is we're going to crisscross. We're going to crisscross. And we'll do it in a second. And that's where we're going to look at these ionic charges. And this is just that periodic table we colored. I added my ionic charges across the top. So like the +1, +2, ±3, ±4, -3, -2, -1. Remember, metals are going to have positive charges. Non-metals are going to have negative charges. And we'll go over that again when we get down to number 50. But first, let's name these ionic compounds. So we have MgS. Mg is magnesium. S is, spelling is killing me here, magnesium. S is sulfur. So the name of this compound is going to be magnesium sulfide. And for the purposes of what we're learning right now, we don't care about any of the numbers in these formulas when we name them. That'll become important when we talk about covalent bonding, which we're not doing right now. And it'll also be important when we talk about some other things when we get really into nomenclature later. So right now, we don't need to worry about the numbers. All right, Li is lithium. Oh my goodness. Lithium, there we go. P is phosphorus. So that becomes lithium phosphide. All right, Ca is calcium. Br is bromine. Calcium bromide. Na is sodium. F is fluorine. Oop. So that becomes sodium fluoride. My fingers type too fast. There we go, sodium fluoride. Okay, so now let's talk about these crisscross charges. And I am going to use my whiteboard here to show you exactly what's going on. So let me see if I can make this bubble bigger where it's easier to see. Can I make my bubble bigger? Nope, I don't know how to do that. Oh, yes, I can. There we go. Oh, goodness, that's very large. I can't. Okay, wrong one. All right, there we go. That's better. So now we're going to do the metal symbol in charge, non-metal symbol in charge, and then we'll crisscross to get the formula. So the first one we have is sodium. Sodium is Na. It's in that group 1, so it has a +1. Oxygen is O. It's in group, I think, 16. It has a -2. All right, so for the formula, I'm going to take my Na +1. And my O -2. And I have to write backwards, so that's why my handwriting is so funky. Okay. Na +1, O -2, and I'm going to crisscross these charges. That means that 2 is going to come over here and join sodium, and that 1 is going to join oxygen. So we're crisscrossing. The 2 is going to go to sodium, and the 1 is going to go to oxygen. So when we write that formula, it's going to become Na2O. Remember, we don't have to write ones when we write formulas. And the plus and minus get lost when we do that as well. So Na2O. So that's the first one. Oh, goodness. There we go. All right. Aluminum is in group 13. It is a metal, so it's going to have a +3. Fluorine is in group 17, and it has a -1. So we're going to crisscross our charges. I have Al +3, fluorine -1. So I crisscross them, those numbers move down. So this is going to become Al3F. Al3F. All right. The strontium sulfide one I put on here on purpose, and you're going to see why. We're going to talk about something extra with this. So strontium is Sr. It is in group 2, so it has a +2. Sulfide is in group 16. It's got a -2. So we have a plus and a -2. So I'm going to crisscross those, and I'm writing this down. I'll show you in just a second. Oh, that's a 2. All right, so I crisscross my +2 and my -2. And when I do that, I end up with something that looks like this. The problem with this is that we want to reduce this. So I get Sr2, S2. Well, this is going to reduce down to SRS. So those 2's, I can divide both these by 2, so that becomes SRS. So we want that like in its smallest form, I guess you can say. And this is something that's unique to ionic compounds. All right, the last one we're going to do is calcium nitrate. So calcium is in group 2. It's a 2+. And nitrogen is in group 15, and it's a -3. So we're going to crisscross those. We're going to crisscross our +2 is going to come down here. Our -3 is going to come down here. So we end up with Ca3N2. Ca3N2. Oh, goodness. Okay, Ca3N2. Okay, so there you go. If you have questions, please just message me. I'll be happy to help you out. But that is everything right now you need to know about naming ions and ionic compounds. Good luck, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.